49ers brought in a defensive player. You're not, doesn't sound like you're a fan. Khalil Davis. Here he is in the locker room. I talked to him today.
Nice guy.
I think you were standing right there. But here we go. Here's a little Khalil Davis, and then we'll talk a little bit about him. Here it is.
You were getting some pretty good run in Houston, so you played quite a bit. How do you feel physically coming into this part of the year?
I feel really good. I'm walking. Obviously I'm banged up and I got things going on, but I'm able to play and I'm healthy, so that's all I can ask.
Bosa, Floyd, what's it like walking into this line? I mean, this is a line where Bosa gets a lot of attention.
Yeah, it's awesome. I watch a lot of the San Fran tape because they run the same system, so it's kind of crazy just to all of a sudden be here with these guys. I'm excited because they draw a lot of attention, which gives other guys opportunities to go make plays. So I'm just gonna maximize it.
There you go. A little bit of not Khalil Davis, but Khalil Davis, and we also have Sorensen weighing in on Khalil Davis. Let's hear from Sorensen here.
What do you like about Khalil? And
here we go. Here's a little bit on Sorensen.
The defensive tackle at the trade deadline. What do you like about Khalil, and kind of where do you see him fitting in that group?
Yeah, where he fits in, we'll see. We still want to see, some more. I think he's just had the one, shorter practice yesterday without pads. So the cool thing is he's an explosive guy. He's twitched up. He's been in our system and he's had production. So we'll just kind of go from there and figure out how he fits. It's always good to add depth to a position like that of a good player.
Anything
So not a lot of specifics there. Doesn't sound like Sorensen's even seen or knows anything about the guy, to be honest. But whatever, it doesn't matter.
If you watch his tape,
I wasn't very happy with this edition. Yeah. I mean, I interviewed him today. He seems like a nice enough kid. Yeah. I would probably say the same without watching him. I would probably say the same thing that Sorensen said, which is, hey, it's a depth guy and this and that. I just thought, you know what? If Davon Godchaux was out there, he was 330 pounds. I think he could have made a real difference in their run defense. I look at this guy as not very good against the run. He's another version of Kevin. He's a 310-pound Kevin Givens instead of 285-pound Kevin Givens.
Kevin Givens gets lower than this guy. Kevin Givens can actually win a one-on-one.
I'm just saying they're all one. He's a one-gap penetrator. He's not a big run stuffer, clogger.
Nope.
Davon Godchaux, you would have seen the difference. Warner would have been freed up to run more. He would have clogged up the middle. Now you have another guy. It's always nice to have another body, but to me, it was a nominal improvement. I was very disappointed with what the 49ers didn't get done at the deadline.
Yeah.
I don't understand their thinking because it's almost like they don't really believe. And I know they would fight, like they would challenge me on that. Oh, what do you mean we don't believe? We believe. Yeah. You want your players to think you believe,
right?
But your actions say you don't believe, because if you believed, then you would believe that, you know what? All you got to do is outrun Arizona, Seattle, and the Rams, get in the playoff picture. And you're going to have to play one more game, and you're going to have to venture out on the road after the first game, most likely.
Yeah.
But it's not like you've got some, it's not the NCAA tournament and you're the 16 seed.
Right.
It's not like it's not like you're trying to win the lottery out with the fewest ping pong balls. I mean, it's not, the decks are not stacked against you.
No.
You have playoff experience. You were in the Super Bowl. You should have experience that Detroit and Green Bay and these other teams don't have and only dream of. Right. And it's like, why would you not want to improve your hand as much as you possibly could? And then if you get in there, you make a run. I mean, I watched the New York Giants go to the Super Bowl with Eli Manning. It wasn't like some epic all-time Giant team, but guess what? They put themselves in position. They got in the playoffs, and they got hot once they got there. And it's like the 49ers can absolutely do that with this quarterback and this cast of characters, but they don't act like they didn't improve themselves in any serious way.
Right.
Tayshaun Gibson, really? That's the best you can do? And you needed a linebacker. You didn't get one.
No.
You needed a defensive end. You didn't get one.
Nope.
You needed a defensive tackle who could clog the middle. You didn't get one. You needed speed at receiver. You added nobody.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, very, very, very disappointed in Lynch and what they didn't do when you consider they have $54 million under the cap. This is their absolutely go time for this roster. You think their roster is going to be deeper and better next year when they're paying Brock Purdy north of $50 million? The odds, it would take almost a personnel Houdini act to be deeper next year after paying Brock $50 million. It would almost mandate that they hit on almost every move they made in the entire offseason. This was clearly, there was no move out there that wasn't going to cost you tons of picks. I mean, the Chiefs got D-Hop for nothing. The Ravens got Deontay Johnson for nothing.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get anybody. And it's like, I mean, I don't know. When Shanahan was asked about it, when Lynch was asked about it, they so quickly dismissed it as, oh, yeah, well, we're getting injured guys back. Well, guess what? If Christian McCaffrey comes back and is Christian McCaffrey, fine. Yeah, then you're right. If Dre Greenlaw comes back as Dre Greenlaw, then yeah, fine. You're right. Anything short of that, and you blew an opportunity to improve your football team for what? A few dollars on the cap?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, very unimpressed with what they did or what they didn't do compared to the other teams in the league. I mean,
yeah,
they have a very good chance of going to if they beat Tampa, they've got I told you, they have a 66% chance of making the playoffs. When you have a 66% chance of making the playoffs, why wouldn't you add to your mix? To me, it made no sense.
I'm with you. This felt perfunctory. It felt like they made a move because we got to do something. And I think that what they gave up tells you everything about this guy. They traded away a 7th rounder next year, not 2025, 2026. The Texans were going to cut this guy. By the way, the Houston Texans, who have now traded 2 defensive tackles to the 49ers in the past couple of months, and by the way, are really struggling at defensive tackle. The Texans aren't in any great shakes where we got so many defensive tackles. What could we ever do? No, they're searching for defensive tackles. And in the meantime, they'll throw the 49ers a couple of them for next to nothing. So have fun with that. That's an interesting dynamic.
It's a guy walking through the desert, and he's throwing you a canteen of water that he doesn't need.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I wish it was water. I mean, I think it's piss. So I guess you can drink it, go full water world on this. I don't know. This guy will make a couple plays. There's no question about it. He has the athleticism. I don't see this
twitched up. He's twitched up, according to Sorensen.
I mean, I get it. When you look at it, this is the kind of player that coming out of college, I love because he is an elite level athlete for his size. And you go, man, you give him the right coaching, you put him in the right system, he could really explode. Well, the reason the 49ers got this guy, Khalil Davis, and by the way, that won't be hyper confusing for the rest of the year having Khalil Davis too. The reason they got him is because, as Sorensen noted, he's in the system. The Houston Texans run the exact same scheme as the 49ers. They run the wide 9. So they don't have to teach him anything, which they consider a bonus. The problem is all of this upside that they talk about is totally negated by the fact that we have now years of tape on this dude in the same fucking system, and he hasn't performed at all to the point where the Texans are like, yeah, just throw us whatever you want, like a, I don't know, 26th, 7th. No, okay. It's just a body. This is a practice squad signing effectively. And the idea that that's going to fundamentally change their run defense, which I thought was the number one priority for this team at the trade deadline, is laughable. There's a Jeremiah Ledbetter in Jacksonville who, say what you will about the guy, no one knows who the hell he is, but if you watch him, you'll notice he doesn't move when he gets blocked. He might not be penetrating. He might not be one-gapping. He might not be this crazy twitched-up dude, but when you put hands and a body on him, he stays where he is. And you know what that makes everyone else's job? Easier, because he can hold a goddamn gap. This Niners team doesn't have anybody on the defensive line who can hold a goddamn gap. And the idea that Kusarek is great as T-Dub is pointing out here. Where's the evidence of that? Legitimately. He has this reputation.
Well, I
Where's
mean,
the evidence?
Arden Key's making a lot of money. I mean, there's guys making money now who, Samson Ebcom got a nice little contract. I mean, there were guys who played well for Chris that didn't necessarily play well before. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, maybe Khalil Davis
Buckner in the middle. Is that because they had Eric?
I don't know.
Their run defense.
I'm just saying he got a lot out of Kerry Hyder. It seems like he gets guys that he likes and guys play hard for him. But there's no two gapper there. I mean, I don't know.
And this is my big issue, Larry, is that they're doubling down on not just this wide 9 system, which I've complained about a lot, and it's not going to change. I know that I'm yelling into the void here. But I would like it if we didn't have Nick Bosa lined up as the nickelback. That would be something that I think might be beneficial to a 49ers team that can't seem to set an edge to save its life for multiple years now. I would like a defensive tackle that can hold the gap as opposed to try to split it every time. Because I don't know, the running back can see you coming and move out of the way. And they're doubling down on this wide 9 system that I don't think they have the personnel to effectively run because they don't have a behemoth in the middle who can do what Kusarek wants while also actually holding a gap. And then on top of that, they're doubling down on all of John Lynch's moves from the offseason, most of which 8 games into the season look like absolute ass. We forgot to mention Yetur Gross-Matos. Apparently, Yetur Gross-Matos is the game changer that this team has always needed. Like,
I'll tell you right now, you know who's a free agent is Jason Pierre-Paul. I mean, they've got to get another rusher. I don't know if it's Yetur Gross-Matos, but Jason Pierre-Paul, you can pick him off the street, and he is, still has a body to rush the passer. He still can do it. They need some help. I mean, they're going to need some help. Otherwise, or Beal's going to have to be something, or Sam O's going to have to be something, or Leonard Floyd is suddenly going to have to play. This is what happens so many times. It's almost like what the Giants have done in the past in baseball. It's like you get a guy that would be fantastic for like 200 at-bats, but you don't play him 200 at-bats. You play him for 450 at-bats, and you wonder why he sucks. It's like, hey, maybe Yaz should just play for 200 at-bats. On a championship team, guys like Yaz just play 200 at-bats. And instead, the Giants say, well, no, we need him to play 450 at-bats, and then the guy stinks.
They always have the idea.
And they've been doing this forever, and the Niners are doing the exact same thing here.
You're spot on. It is absolutely like that. Now, we do need to point out why a guy like Yaz play. Yaz is meant at the beginning of the season in this weird conceptual realm, like, oh, he'll only get 200 at-bats. He'll just be a platoon. Well, then Austin Slater sucks something fierce. Or, they don't think Ramos is ready in time. Or we can't play Matos. So we just, we have Yaz. We'll just keep playing him. And eventually, because of an injury or because something else didn't work out, this whole concept of a platoon, this large parlay that you've built up here, falls apart, and now you're stuck with a mediocre player who has limited upside and really in only one area. Well, now that guy plays every day. I love Sam Aquanu. I think he's a really, really good player. I think he's been an absolutely great find. I'm the first motherfucker who wrote a column on him. Like, I'm in on Sam Aquanu. The 49ers were having to play him at 3 technique because they didn't have a defensive tackle who could theoretically rush the passer. They can't stop the run,
it is. They just
have to play him as a 3 tech.
Yeah, I mean they love him as a 3 tech because he will come off a block and make a play against the run, and he's obviously going to give you much more of a pass rush than the most interior guys.
Like, we're talking about Sam Aquanu, who again I really like and I think should be playing a lot. But you're talking about this guy who they cut. I know they kept him for a day, but they cut him before the month of August was over. That guy is now the guy who's going to be playing opposite Nick Bosa. He's the one who's going to make this defensive line all click. Yeah, I mean it's fundamentally flawed.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll give you another one. I mean, there's, they need help. I mean, they need help at defensive end. I mean, there's just no question. I mean, they need help. And it's like, what are you going to do? I mean, you can add guys right now if you want. But obviously they think that their guys can do it. We got to see. I mean, it's going to,
what on earth
to me,
could
Floyd,
they have seen from Robert
They need to
Beal?
limit Floyd's usage. I mean, he's not going to be able to last if you're going to play him the way they're playing him. What do you think of Yannick Ngakoue? The Ravens released him today. They're going to put him on their practice squad if nobody picks him up. I mean, Ngakoue is at least, I mean, he's a little short, but I mean,
Yeah.
he's a proven rusher in this league. He's had double-digit sack years, multiple double-digit sack years.
I'm
He's a
not
hell of a
against
player.
I'm not against it. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, they
there's
need something.